Ladies and gentlemen, has chess ever made you very happy? Well, with extreme happiness comes extreme sadness and extreme frustration. Has chess ever made you very mad? No, this is not a therapy session. This is me introducing a video where I am about to show you a game that would make most of us not just delete our online accounts, but probably throw our electronics against the wall and promptly proceed to throw them out of a window. This game was sent to me by a subscriber. I have this amazing playlist. Well, I'm not calling my own playlist amazing. I'm calling the games within that playlist amazing, and that playlist is called the How to Lose at Chess playlist. So thank you to my subscriber for sending this epic game. I'm going to take you through it. Our protagonists are from the Netherlands and Mongolia. They are 1300, and this is a rapid game. These are grandmasters. Just kidding. They're 1300s, but they do get honorary grandmaster titles. Some people in the comments don't understand that. That's okay. The person with the black pieces had a profile photo of Biggie, so that was pretty cool. The person with white didn't have a profile photo, so I gave them some typical Netherlands dessert as a profile photo. Here we go. You're not ready. E4, A6. So the thing about these games that get sent in by 1300s is that they're ridiculous, yes, but you actually can learn stuff. So the first thing that we're going to learn is how to deal with nonsense openings, right? E4, A6 is not like a horrible opening. It's a very non-committal move. So 2 pawns in the center if you can, good. Black plays B5. Now, you have 2 approaches when you get hit with nonsense, okay? You have confrontation and ignoring, like a potentially hostile person on the train in New York who looks less than safer. You know what I mean? Like, New York is a kind of place where we complain about the infrastructure of the city in taking care of the homeless folks and folks that need it the most. But then sometimes they get on the subway and they cause problems for people, and we don't know what to do. It's a huge city. Everybody's trampling over everybody, not to mention tourists. It's tough here. I'm not gonna lie to you. We got issues. Anyway, that little monologue aside, you can ignore all of this and play something like knight f3, which is what happens in this game. The alternative is tackling the issue head on with a move like a4. Okay? And then trying to, improve your position like that. A4 is not a bad move, but then, of course, black will play b4 probably. But I like knight f3, and this is all very, very good stuff by white. Excellent, excellent. Black plays e6. Now, white here should probably castle. The move bishop f4 is not a bad move. But castling is let's put it this way, it's a less flexible of a move. Does that make sense? You don't know if your bishop wants to go on these 3 squares. You kind of know the king wants to castle. And if you're going to argue, well, Levy, I don't know, maybe you're going to castle queenside. Okay. I would say, you know what? You have a point. Bishop f4. Now, black fundamentally doesn't understand the opening here. So if you're playing against an E and D pawn, and you have an E pawn like this, you really want to land the move c5. Like, the best move here for black is the move c5. A very common move in the French defense is also c5. The reason why black doesn't really want to go d5 is because the bishop is sort of blocked in, right? So, for example, if I take on d5 here, and you take, the bishop is completely blocked, okay? But if I take and you take with the queen just becomes a target. Not to mention that pawn is hanging. And if bishop d5, that will once again become a target for my a and my c pawns. So you really should be trying to play c5. But okay, black plays knight f6. We have knight bd2. And this is actually why white developed the bishop to f4. White wanted to play knight bd2. It's actually very good foresight, unless I'm giving them too much credit. Basically, white was like, well, I don't want to go here because of b4, which is correct. So white's like, I'm going to go here and here. Beautiful stuff. d5. Okay. Now, I love this move. e5. Excellent move. Knight fd7. And clearly the move c5 is going to happen, right? So, well, maybe not. Now, you got to look forward in the position far enough that you see what your opponent wants and you kind of create a response for it. Once again, you can castle. You can also go create an attack right away with knight g5. Point is that after c5, you actually already have a devastating move here. It's not queen h5. All right, that is a decent looking move, but then black just goes here. You have a move here that uses the queen h5 idea, but in a much more forcing way. And this is the way you train your tactical vision. You don't go queen h5 and then it's going to be mate on the next move. I don't know. That was like my impersonation of like a 3-year-old toddler. But that kind of sounded vaguely European. No, you got to look checks, captures, attacks, right? This is a capture and it attacks the queen. And if they take, now queen h5 is vicious. Because if g6, you just keep going. You're not going to even take the rook. You're going here and bishop g5. Black is going to lose the whole house. Black is going to lose everything. The knight, the queen, probably the bishop. It's plus 73, which even you can win. Anyway, let's go back. So that is one of the ideas of knight g5. I hate white's next move. White's next move is a fundamental misunderstanding of the necessities of the position. You got to be thinking of it like this. If I was playing black, what would I do next? That's really hard. If you're watching this in your 500, you're like, what will they do next? I don't even know what I'm going to do next, right? That happens. I know, but I'm trying to teach you how to be better, but we're also going to laugh, all right? That's why you clicked on this video. You and I are in this together, okay? You got to think, well, what would I do? Probably going to go c5, right? You got to try to break out. So this move doesn't address anything, and you're going to notice black is already better. How is that possible? How are we going from plus 1.3, 1.4 to minus 0.4? That is a massive change. That's nearly like a 2-point change. Now, of course, the computer stabilizes, but the point is that computer just really gets hype about this c5 and also like the bishop coming into a3. Now, this looks completely absurd, but the point is c5, and it's actually very difficult. Like if white takes, white's center is immediately destabilizing. Suddenly, white is going to get the attackers picked off, right? So that's not good. So black plays c5. Now, white has one last chance, okay? White has one last chance to restructure the position, okay? And your bishop's not trapped, okay? It's all good. Instead of that, white now shows us why they played c5, and they played the move c4, and now it's pandemonium, okay? So the way I want you to avoid situations like this, right? b3, c4, trading everything, you got to think like this. Who has more space? Me. Who has more active pieces? Me. So I should be restricting my opponent's position. Because if I open their position, the unintended consequences of that are going to be that I'm going to go, oh, my position's open. That's good for me. But all their pieces get out. So you didn't actually benefit yourself. You were like, oh, I'm going to make some pawn trades. That's not an evaluation of a chess position. That's just a sentence, right? I'm going to make some pawn trades. So pawn takes d4, knight takes d4. So now white's center is completely destabilized because these things, what is this, right? So black takes. Now you opened up black's bishop, and black's queen is going to be open in a moment. All right, bc4, now it's completely lost. Now the position is completely lost. Why? Because we have a shish kebab right here. We have like a little, Turkish restaurant, Adana kebab going on the D file. I mean, black is just completely winning with the move knight c5. And in chess, you got to think forcing moves, but also maximum danger. How do I put my opponent in maximum danger? Max danger in this case is you can attack a bishop. Now, if you said bishop takes g2, that's theoretically correct. Yes, that's also not a bad move. But after this, all you did was win a pawn, whereas this move guarantees you win two things. And that was one of the unintended consequences of prematurely opening up a position for the opponent. But black does this, okay? Like 1300s are not immune to, you get this syndrome, you get this syndrome in chess as well. It's called Uga capture syndrome. It's an officially recognized syndrome by the World Health Organization. It's when you see something, you take it. Like you're like, oh, I can take that. Oh, I can take that. Oh, I can take that. Like there's no thinking involved. Oh, I can take that, right? Like black obviously can't take this, but black goes here. Now this move only benefits white. Because watch what happens to the evaluation after, like it's about equal here, but it's only equal if black gets the pieces out in castles. Like those are literally, according to the computer, those are the next three moves. After this, white is completely winning. What? How's that possible? White lost the pawn. Yeah, but for that pawn, black lost two moves with the bishop, and now the rook is open. I mean, you just mightily improve white's position. White still has more space, and white still has more active pieces. So white's bad plan, which was allowing the opponent's pieces to get active, wasn't punished by black, who evidently has the exact same piece formation. Look at this. Black never moved any of those pieces. So all of my complaints are just trying to prepare you for individuals who will punish your mistakes, right? So if you say, well, it worked because your opponent was not good, but it won't work at a certain level. So Bishop d5. Now, this is all great. Now, at this point, I would like to see white just beginning the bludgeoning. e6. All right? Take with the knight. Don't worry about getting pinned. You can block that. Knight c7 on the way. The evaluation is it's almost completely winning, but there is king f7 here for black, okay? The computer actually likes... Oh, the computer is just a scumbag. Would you like to know why it's +5? Queen h5 check, g6, sacrifice the rook. Defending the knight. If this, then you play here, here, and now you're no longer pinned, so you deflect the king away from the queen, and you win the queen. Yeah, gross, okay? Anyway, I don't hate white's next move, but it's too slow. Rook b1. It's not a bad move, just getting another piece into the game, and now we can see that black is a pawn up, but the position is awful, right? Black plays knight c5. That move is like 10 moves late. White, once again, should try to rip open the position, but white does have to be a little bit careful of the move knight d3. Knight 2 b3. That's a pun, because it's literally n2 b3. It's not knight d b3, because they're both on the same file. Did you know that? You can't write knight d b3 in this position, because they're both knight d b3, so it would be knight 2 b3. There you go, you learn something. Now, knight e4. White plays f3. Now, the move f3 is hilarious. So, look at this position. White has 2 knights and a bishop, and rooks and queen. Every piece white could possibly imagine is playing. What should you do here? Well, obviously, you got to activate the queen, right? And then you got to continue to push forward. Black has 1 piece out. All of black's pieces are on the back rank. Literally, black's position is a bunch of soldiers asleep and a horse just roaming, okay? Now, I have a video called 7 Most Common Chess Mistakes. One of the most common chess mistakes in chess, even in chess, bozo, in chess, as opposed to what, all right, is playing a move that attacks a piece and not thinking for even a second where it's going to go. Like, why would you allow that? Like, when you played the move f3, what went through your mind? You went, well, if he doesn't see it, I'm going to take the knight. Okay, and what if he does see it? I don't, like, where was the knight going to go? I don't understand. Not to mention, you always have to look for checks for your opponent, and in this position, queen h4 is terrifying. Okay? Instead of that, all right, white loses an exchange. Now, white is down a lot of material. It's 3 points. Black is now winning. How is black going to win? Well, the way black has to win this game is by making sure that they can get developed. You don't want to play bishop e7 and lose this pawn. So maybe you want to go g6, and then white doesn't have enough material anymore to create a substantial attack. Like, by the time white, like, arrives anywhere in the territory, black's just going to castle, right? Okay, so naturally, seeing as though black has not developed any pieces, black is going to develop a piece with the move h6. What? Now it's winning for white again. White now needs to continue smashing in the center. Okay, I mean, I don't hate the move queen c2. Now, finally, black needs to... Oh my gosh, what is black doing? What is black doing? Okay, now black develops the bishop. Finally. It's still winning, though, because of e6 and this really powerful attack that might arrive. Okay? Now, the way you come up with moves like e6 is you gotta realize something. If everything is stuck on its home square and you're not, you gotta use pawns to open up positions sometimes, okay? Gotta use pawns. You can't always use your pieces to get in. Sometimes you can't get in. Sometimes every square is covered, you gotta use the pawn. Also, at most levels of chess, 9 times out of 10, the best move is not going backwards. This could not be the right move. And I want you all to just imprint that. Like, unless you're capturing something, or unless there's going to be very rare case it's 2 out of 10, 90% of the time, the best move is like this or forward, forward. Not down, not backwards. There's no need to go backwards. If you're retreating because you're attacked, that's a different story. But this is just not good. I don't even know what the idea there is. Okay, because if you wanted to go knight f5, you would have done that on the last move. Now, knight d7 is still running directly into e6. Once again, for the 1000th time. All right, knight f5. Bishop b4, a3. That just loses a pawn, okay? e6 is still there. Finally, the queen has gotten in. Now, I don't know why black is allergic to castling, but black is just allergic to castling. Queen a4, okay. The evaluation is now -5. So we have rook to c1 check, king f2. Now the bishop comes back. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. Yeah, the white is now going to lose another piece. So the king goes here and runs out to the side of the board. White is now down 9 points of material, okay? On top of that, white has about 15 seconds on the clock. Black has about a minute, minute and a half. Black could basically do anything here and effortlessly win this game. The only thing you don't want to do here is start to give away your pieces on purpose. If you play a couple of solid moves, white will simply run out of time. Black has done a great job. You might be asking yourself, Levy, I don't understand. Who is deleting their account and why? Can you stop clickbaiting us? As a matter of fact, no, you should watch the video Clickbait Works. I'm not lying to you. I don't lure you in and give you something totally different or sell you something you're not getting, you're not getting in the title. No. I just capture your imagination. What you are about to see is nothing short of absolutely spectacular. And one of the players most likely did, in fact, find their way to that delete button. Black played the move Queen C7. White gave a check. Black moved the king out of the way, and white went back. That's basically an admission of defeat when you start shuffling back and forth desperately with 10 seconds on the clock. You know the feeling. Time's running down. You don't know what to do. You just move back and forth. What are you going to do, right? Chess is hard. Black plays knight e5. Black is now up 10 points of material. Literally. It says plus 10 right here. Some of you think that this means that that person's playing white. No. I get comments like that sometimes. Oh, you have the board wrong. No, I don't. I have 900 videos on this channel. You think I have the board wrong? Those are captured pieces. 10 points of material. This king is right here. All right? Here we go. Queen a6. Now, at this point, black sort of ran out of patience, starts playing rook takes g3, because white has no time, right? White has no time. You might as well. I mean, guy's got like 2 seconds. You just play rook takes g3. That's another strategy. If your opponent has no time, hitting them with random bad moves to flag them, totally valid. It invalidates some of your work, but it is what it is. Rook takes g3. White gets this move off with like 1.9 on the clock. And then black plays the move knight takes f3. White plays the move queen a8 check. And mind you, in this position, black has probably something like 25, 30 legal moves. Just a very small handful of them lose. Black takes this pawn, white plays queen a8 check. And after queen to b8, because it's mate, king is completely stranded. King is stuck, and that is why you castle in chess. You can play any one of these 3 moves, and they all lead to the same result, which is white winning a game, being down 10 points of material, and having 0.6 seconds on the clock at the time of the final move.